Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Harlingen City Commission meeting. The time is now 5:32 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. It has been posted as required by state law. We have a quorum of the commission as everyone is present. Everyone, please stand and rise for the invocation. Lord, we thank you for this amazing day, and we just ask that you guide each and every one of us as we do the work of our city and guide us to make the decisions that are in the best interest of our community. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under state law, a conflict of interest exists if a council member or certain members of that person's family has a qualifying financial interest in an agenda item. Members with a conflict of interest cannot participate in the discussion or vote on the agenda item. Are there any known conflicts of interest to disclose at this time?
None.
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 None. None.
Okay, item 3, announcements. With respect to items not listed elsewhere in this agenda, the City Commission may report on items of community interest, including announcing community events, announcing employee or community recognitions. Item 3A, Mayor's announcements. Mayor?
1 second. I did want to just call attention, I know that September, it will be here before we know it, and I know that there is going to be a walk for suicide prevention, and Suicide Prevention Month is in the month of September, and it will be on September 6th. I believe it'll be at Vestal Park.
Yes,
I don't know if you can add a couple of words in regards to the time and date during your during your announcements. I just want to make sure that we're giving people ample time to put that on their calendars for the 6th of September. And then I'll let Daniel, when he gives his remarks, add a little bit more information. And I think it's really important that we all take the time to try to be present if possible. And that's all I have.
Okay, item 3B, City Manager's announcements. Mr. Gonzalez?
Yeah, Mayor, did you want to talk about your upcoming Mayor's Coffee?
And you always remind me. Thank you so much. Yes, we have Coffee with the Mayor, and this will be on Monday of next week. Is that right? And it'll be
Yes.
at Stefano's at 5:00 p.m. And we invite the community. This is the evening edition. We do Coffee with the Mayor always during the day, and we've had a lot of people in the community say that they're at work and they're unable to attend, and so we're trying out an evening edition. We did one in the evening about a year ago. We didn't have not a lot of attendance, so we moved it back to the morning. So we encourage everyone, if you're able to meet with us, we'll have some light appetizers, and the EDC will be joining us and giving us some updates on what's going on in the community. So we invite everyone to the Coffee with the Mayor. Thank you.
Is it scheduled for
It's at 5 p.m.
5 p.m.? Okay. Mayor, I would like to introduce our new Director of Media and Communications, Jason Moody. He started work this Monday. Jason, would you like to come up and just say a few words? The one thing I'd like to point out about Jason, and this is not the reason he was hired, but that he is a Texas Longhorn.
Good morning.
I
bleed
knew there
orange.
was a reason.
Looking forward to a great season, though. It's around the corner. Yes, I'm Jason Moody, your new Director of Communications and Media. I'm looking forward to continuing to tell the story of Harlingen and putting them in the best of light. A little bit about myself. I studied journalism at UT Austin and finished my degree at UT Brownsville and was the first student with the communications program. So I started my career as the youngest member at South Padre Island and the youngest spokesman, and launched my career becoming involved with a lot of the community events and promoting the city of town of South Padre Island. Had the opportunity to move and work at the county level as a district attorney's spokesman, so did that for about 5 years. After that, I moved to San Antonio and worked with a national nonprofit called Operation Homefront. We were headquartered in San Antonio and Washington, D.C., and serving America's military families, our veterans and military families that have worked so hard, and assisted with Homes in the Home program. Our portfolio was about $150 million, and we were putting veterans back in homes across the country. So I interviewed about 700 veterans and military families, and put them in homes to really help them get back into living in the civilian lifestyle. So after that, I became the spokesman for the Brownsville Independent School District, one of the largest school districts here in the Valley, led the communication efforts for the COVID-19 and the pandemic for about 5 years, worked collaboratively with the city of Brownsville, Cameron County, and those that were involved in trying to receive vaccinations. I'm here now as a 20-year career and ready to move forward and continue to do my public service. My family has been in public service for 3 generations. My grandfather was in law enforcement for 50 years, served as a Texas Ranger and a chief of police for Los Fresnos. So public service is in my blood. It's a passion. I'm committed and dedicated, and looking forward to working with the mayor and the commission and the rest of the staff of the department. So thank you so much, and I thank the warm welcome that the City of Harlingen has given me so far. So thank you.
Welcome to Harlingen.
Thank you, Jason. The other item I'd like to present is the city will be closed on Labor Day, September 1st. We will reopen for business on the 2nd. So if you plan to come visit the city, make sure that you note that we'll be closed on Monday, September 1st. And that's all I had.
Can you verify, Gabe, the residents will still be getting trash pickup?
Yes,
Whatever it
yes,
is. Okay,
yes,
just so they-
yes. Trash pickup will still continue on Monday for all of those that were scheduled for Monday. Yes.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to item 3C, City Commission member announcements.
I'd just like to thank everyone that supported or participated in last Saturday's community-wide cleanup. It was a great event, hot morning, but we got a lot of stuff picked up, and well done to everybody that had a hand in it.
I have 3 announcements. First off, the background information on the suicide prevention walk is set for Saturday, September 6, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Vestal Park, which is located at 501 Lafayette Avenue, Harlingen, Texas, 78550. Announcement 2 is I want to thank Keep Harlingen Beautiful, the advisory board. I'd like to thank, I know we have 2 members here, and Commissioner Perez and Commissioner Kinsley, not only for the cleanup, but for approving $60,000 for additional lighting for downtown. We're going to get 9 lights at the public parking lot at Van Buren Avenue and West Street, and 7 lights on Jackson Street. I really want to thank also Public Works and the downtown office for leading that effort for those lights. And I also want to thank the Community Development Advisory Board for additional lighting in the Cano Freshman Campus neighborhood, which is V Street to O Street, West Lozano Street to West Adams Street, which will be a total of 7 new lights there as well. So thank you guys so much. District 2 is definitely lighting the way. I'm a dad, man. I gotta make the jokes.
That was a dad joke.
Yes.
Bad jokes. Mike? Commissioner?
Nothing. Thank you.
I just wanted to reiterate what Ford and Daniel said, to thank you for all the volunteers that were able to make it out on Saturday. It was really appreciated. Also, I want to remind everybody that this is going to be a monthly initiative. It'll be the 3rd Saturday of every month. So the more people, I'm hoping next month we'll have even more people. Also, I did want to bring up the issue. I know I got some emails about it, and also I saw some comments on social media about what happened yesterday. I know we did that cleanup on Saturday along the expressway, and then I know city staff, again, thanks to Public Works, Christopher, you guys sent some staff out there to clean around the frontage area along Bass Boulevard. And then yesterday, TxDOT decided to cut the grass along the frontage and along the expressway. The only issue was that the contractor, whoever they got, did not bother picking up the trash. So so when they cut the grass, they spread the trash all over the place. So it's all the way from Ed Carey, you see it over there, I think it was Ed Carey, you see it off over here by Stewart Place, and even going toward Lafayette, you're gonna see all that litter there. Just to let the community know, we are aware of what happened. I've already reached out to one of the commissioners of TxDOT, and also I'm gonna ask Gabe too to do what he can do so that way we can get this issue addressed But for all those community members, we are aware of it, and we're trying to do what we can. And that's it, I'm good.
Okay, now we're going to move on to item 4, proclamation presentation of awards. We have the Harlingen Animal Shelter Pet of the Week.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission. Tonight, our adoption coordinator, AJ, has brought JoJo, who is a Chihuahua mix. He's about 4 months old right now. He came into the shelter as a stray with his sister, and the sister got fostered today. So little JoJo is now by himself. But he is patiently waiting for his forever home and waiting to be adopted. So anybody who's interested in JoJo or any of the animals at the Harlingen Animal Shelter is welcome to go by 1106 Markowski or give them a call at 956-216-5220. And they are open Tuesday through Saturday from 1 to 6. So, and if, real quick, they are doing a Clear the Shelter event. And so this Saturday, they will have half-price adoptions. So we welcome everybody to come out and try to get everybody that we can into homes.
Awesome, thank you so much. Any events other than that going on? Any adoption events? I know you were at Petco or,
We were at Petco this
Last Saturday.
okay.
So they are doing events just about every weekend. We are concentrating this Saturday just at the shelter because we are trying to do that Clear the event at the shelter. And then actually on Tuesday, adoptions will be free. Forget which holiday it is, but we created a city ordinance, and so adoptions will be free on that day as well. So anybody who has questions or wants more information on any of the animals, they post them on Facebook, on the city's website. They're welcome to go by the shelter or give them a call.
Fantastic.
And I wanted to add on that, I just wanted to remind the community that the Harlingen Animal Shelter is the only place that exclusively deals with pets from Harlingen. So every time you adopt a pet from the animal shelter, you're helping to alleviate the overpopulation that we have here in the city of Harlingen.
Yes. And they are either currently spayed or neutered, or that is part of the adoption. So like little JoJo may be a little bit too young yet, but the spay or neuter is still part of the adoption, so there is not an added cost for that either.
Shannon, thank you so much she's been sending me emails, I don't know if you guys would like them as well, where she talks about the animal events, the animal adoption events, how many have been sent out, or how many have been adopted, how many went to the event. It's been fantastic, so thank you so much, Shannon.
How many are going into fosters
Correct.
and everything. The shelter staff does an amazing job. They work tirelessly every day trying to get as many animals into forever homes and rescues and just into homes as they can. And it's a daily struggle, and they work at it every day.
So Shannon, I have a question just for y'all, real quick. We have a community member that is fostering these pups that just ended up in her front door.
Okay.
And I think they look like little chocolate labs. And so she was asking, she wants to continue to foster them, take them to the vet, make sure they're healthy, and then see if there can be some collaboration on sharing those photos of just to see if there's any, anyone would like to, once they're ready to go, to either continue to foster or to adopt. Is that something that the shelter can do, just to set the photos on your page to see if anyone's interested?
We would absolutely love to work with her or him.
Okay.
They're welcome to either call myself or call AJ. They're at the animal shelter, and we'll be happy to work through that process with them. Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. I thought maybe the mama may be at the shelter is what I thought, because there's 3 pups that just kind of adopted her.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 4B, Mayor's Business of the Month, Creasey's Bowl.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As usual, it is time to reveal the Mayor's Business of the Month. And before I invite the owner up to say a few words, we have prepared a video for you.
Brenda Creasey, and I'm the owner of Creasey's Bowl. It's a family bowling center, and we have a full lounge and snack bar, and a place where families come and leagues bowl, and old friends meet up and new friends come in. My father-in-law was a big bowler, and there was a small center on 77 that he purchased, and from there it grew, and my husband and I took over the spots in the early 80s, and we had this place built, and we've been here ever since. It just means everything to me. I mean, I love it. I love it when people come in and say we're home. You know, it means a lot. And that's what I tell the kids when they come in, and I have school groups, and they come in and I tell them, you know, this is my home. I spend more time here than I do at my house. So when you come in, that's the feeling I want you to have, is that you're home. We're on 644 North Ed Carey Drive in Harlingen, Texas. I would like to thank Norma for thinking of our home, of our business, and I appreciate that a great deal. It means a lot to me.
Ms. Brenda, if you'd like to come up and say a few words.
Sorry, it made me a little emotional. I just want to really thank the mayor for thinking of us. And I want to thank Harlingen, the people of Harlingen, because you have made memories in my life for the rest of my life. And I appreciate you bringing your families out and having gender reveals and bowling leagues and even celebrations of life. I said in wedding rehearsals and receptions, it just really means a lot to my family. And I look forward to the many memories ahead. Thank you.
Well, don't go anywhere, Ms. Brenda. We're going to take a photo with you, and also we have a little gift for you. We just, you know, it is important for us to do these types of celebrations for businesses that are in our community, especially Creasey's Bowling Alley, I think, is an institution here in the city. I've been to multiple birthday parties as a kid, and now birthday parties as a mom, and I'm sure that, you know, I share that with many of those that are on this commission. You provide an atmosphere that is family-friendly and just a lot of fun, and with 1,000 degrees outside, it's nice to be indoors in the nice cold AC. And what's really nice about Creasey's is that you have evolved with time. It has just changed constantly, updated, and is just something for everyone. And we appreciate you being a big part of Harlingen and giving us this opportunity to just celebrate you and your family. So thank you so much. I'd love to take a photo.
I'm going to be running before long. Right over here. Had I known, I'd given you a trophy.
I'm at the Bonito Academy, and that's low.
I love
They'll be
your
back
academy.
starting next month.
Okay, ready? And 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1.
I'll drop my seat.
Okay, at this time, we're going to continue to item 5, citizen communication. At this time, the public is invited to address the city commission and speak on any matter not specifically listed for public hearing elsewhere in this agenda. Please note that the city commission members may not respond to comments or deliberate on topics addressed. At this time, we have 4 citizen communications, Mayor. And our first one will be Raymond Reyes.
Raymond Reyes, 706 Nantucket Drive, here in Harlingen, Commission, Mayor. So, real quick, got 3 minutes, so I gotta make them, go ahead and get straight to the point. Several different things. One thing that I want to bring up right off the bat is I know that the state apparently have provided funding for these sidewalks, and I guess it's still a work in progress in that side. But one thing that I did notice yesterday, when I was going to pick up my wife, she went to a medical appointment, is on Mount Commerce over there by Buchanan, where the old police department used to be. There's no sidewalks over there, apparently. The reason it stood out, because there was a gentleman, a veteran, because he had a little veteran's flag. He had the cutest little dog in his wheelchair, motorized. But the unfortunate thing for this individual is he had to come off, wait for traffic, and then come back on. So we need to see about getting a sidewalk from that area all the way down as far as we can, because that's just one instance of that's a definite need, because, all these sidewalks are going up everywhere. Another thing I noticed as I'm going over there, and this had happened, I think 2 years ago, the potholes, and it's unfortunate that it seems to happen to me when I bring it up, but 2 years ago, I hit a pothole and it cracked one of my wheels on one of my cars. So I went ahead and replaced all 4 wheels, so I called Public Works to see if they can get addressed. It's right there in front of a Chick-fil-A, and, this car runs on run flats. It's a German car, not cheap. And, we need to be on top of these things. This is not Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi. We can be on top of these things, in my opinion. We need to address or take into account with the citizens' needs, but the actual needs, of what lighting is a good way to start. I know it was mentioned about the lighting situation. It's just, I think, in my opinion, I've worked with Arnold. He's apparently in charge of the traffic and the lights. I had a situation where I had lights. I wanted more lighting, one of my venues at the spot. And back and forth with AEP for about going on like 4 or 5 months that they had submitted, and they gave every excuse. And then unfortunately for them, I made a call because I know certain people up there. And within 3 days, they got it fixed. So when we get things like that in place, working for the better of the citizens, we need to stay on top of it. That's very key, because things can linger, and I believe that's one of the roles the commission, mayor, and other individuals is to be on top of these things, because it can definitely slip through the cracks. And I don't have any problem calling.
Your 3 minutes are up.
So that's it. I didn't beat the buzzer, but y'all have a good meeting. I got other things to attend to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Second one will be Joe Martinez.
How's everyone doing today? I never get a chance, but I see you guys all the time in these meetings, and I want to thank you guys for doing such a wonderful job during the flooding. I mean, I don't know if anybody can give you a pat on the hat back, but you guys are doing a wonderful job, especially you, Mr. Mayor. Listen, I'm a downtown business owner, Joe Martinez, 405 West Van Buren. And one of the issues that I'm having is, well, a little bit of issues that we have is getting calls returned back by the city manager and assistant city manager. I know the guys is extremely busy, and I got a chance to talk to the city manager and ask him, case in point, what was the issue with him not returning my calls. We made 2 meetings downstairs for me and my wife. It's been like 2 years, and we yet to get a call. And we spoke with the people downstairs, and for sure the callers never called us back. Now, I got a chance to talk to him. I cornered him. I told him, what's the problem with you not calling us back? And he said, I wrote it down, is the mayor doesn't want him personally working on any city issues. He wants his staff addressing them. And I can understand that, because sometimes what happens is that there's an issue, especially if it has to do with anything having to do with prostitution, theft, or whatever, you have to address it to the police departments. But sometimes we have to talk to the city manager. I think they need to know and be aware of what's going on. All I'm asking for him to return my call, maybe we can drink a cold cup of coffee, get things done, because everything's is really, most of the time, it's very positive. And we have big plans for the city of Harlingen. I love this city. We have a new business coming up that I think you guys are going to be aware of later on. But overall, it's all positive. It's just a little issues we need to take care of, because I hate discussing them here in public meetings, because it just makes the city look bad. I love the city, and I don't want to hurt it in any way matter. But all it is just returning a call to take care of some of these issues, okay? But anyways, thank you, and I think you guys are doing a wonderful job, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Okay, next one is Ms. Janelle Martinez.
Greetings, Mayor, City Commissioners, Harlingen residents, social media viewers. My name is Janelle Martinez, and today I'm representing a business that I run, and I just want to give you a light on an ongoing issue. Several incidents have transpired, and I will only mention a few. On market days, I operate a beer garden, which I open to everybody, providing a shaded area, and I do provide restrooms. They come in and they use the restrooms on that side of Jackson, with the intention of selling beer and wine on hot days. In addition, I play music at the beer garden, which has become a point of contention for some certain city officials. As a business owner, my primary objective is to provide hospitality and entertainment for my customers. Following several market days and concerns about excessive noise levels, I was actually summoned to meet with the Assistant City Secretary. Owing to ongoing disagreements with a particular city employee, I went in and I attended the meeting with the perception that I was being reprimanded for issues beyond my control, despite being in full compliance with all my business regulations. The ongoing issue has continued, and it is now impacting the advertising on my downtown Facebook page, where I have complied with everything they have told me, guidelines, rules, regulations, yet they are not upholding their own standards. The page administrator notified me that the page must be strictly business and not personal, okay? Nevertheless, I noticed that she was sharing personal posts. So I made an initial post on my page, adding @followers so that her attention could be drawn, but it was ineffective, okay? Despite missing posts on Thursday and Friday of last week, I'm sure her colleagues' businesses were posted and promoted. This past Tuesday, my posts were again excluded, once again. So I decided to tag the manager and her on the next to ensure transparency. Notably, I find it perplexing that the downtown city individuals would not want outstanding events to take place in my downtown bar. I have organized events that drew tourists all over. I had the Dwarfinators that have followers and brought in people from outside of the state. That place held about 300, and I entertained with several of my staff a lot of people that came and they ate at the local eateries, but I was not.
Your 3 minutes is up, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to let you know that it has to stop, and we need to all just work together so that we can get people into the downtown district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. And if we can get Josh, if you can meet with Mr. and Mrs. Martinez. Thank you.
Okay. The next one will be Gregory Scott Knuckle Jr.
Howdy, my name is Gregory Scott Kunkel Jr. I'm here today to introduce myself and my campaign. I am running for Congress for Texas' 34th Congressional District. I had previously been here in the capacity of working with RGV CODA, talking about drainage and a master drainage plan in a previous meeting. And I just want to take this opportunity to talk to y'all, tell you a little bit about who I am, my history in Harlingen, and how much I do care about this city. My family and I currently reside in Laguna Vista, Texas, but I grew up in this town. Born in Weslaco. I lived off of Dilworth, attended Gutierrez Middle School, where we just had the time capsule opening for 25 years, and it was an amazing event. I attended Harlingen High School, joined the Harlingen High School Jazz Band, graduated, and attended Texas A&M University. I did my Eagle Project at Hugh Ramsey Nature Park, the World Birding Center, building trails for the community, and still enjoy this city today. I was in Boy Scouts at the First United Methodist Church right down the road, where I was in Troop 32. I have history in this community, and I love Harlingen. I just wanted to talk about the upcoming elections for the Republican primary.
Excuse me, Mr. Kunkel. Unfortunately, during public comment, we have certain rules.
Sure.
And one of those rules prohibits advocating political campaigns during public comment. So you're free to talk about who you are, but advocating for your campaign crosses the line.
Of course, my apologies. Please strike that from the record.
Okay.
Going forward, I just wanted to stress that that some of the issues I think that are most concerning for Harlingen, we can all agree upon no matter what party you are on. I believe that we need federal funding for drainage. I'm not even talking millions. We need billions. Harlingen, as you all know, geographically is in the center and pinnacle of drainage for the Rio Grande Valley with the Arroyo. I want to see clean water, the future of water, desalination, and I care about the future of the entire RGV community, regardless of party. A couple of thoughts I'd like to leave you with going forward. I remember when I was a child working my family's business down on Jefferson, Woodcraft, Texas, since 1992 in Harlingen, Texas. Right now, 4 generations of my family are in this city today. And we used to work with Lockheed Martin, United Launch Alliance. I want to see Harlingen return to the aerospace manufacturing powerhouse that it once was. Southwest Airlines is still here. We have SpaceX. There's so much potential. I am building a coalition for nuclear energy and believe Harlingen and the Rio Grande Valley can be one of the next best places for clean, small modular reactor technology, the same thing they've been using in submarines for the last 100 years. And I just again wanted to introduce myself, talk about the future of Harlingen, because you know what? This community, the story of Harlingen is unwritten. My wife's from McAllen. I have seen some of the things that have happened in those cities. Brownsville, the growth is unprecedented, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's a good thing. I want to see Harlingen's story written to benefit all of the citizens of this great city, manufacturing, business, nuclear, aerospace, biopharmaceutical manufacturing, and I intend to do that in the future, working with everyone on this commission today. So with that, I just want to take my time to introduce myself. My name is Gregory Scott Kunkel Jr., and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Kunkel.
That is it, Mayor, for citizens' communication. We don't have any more.
Okay.
Item 6 is the approval of minutes for regular meeting of May 7th, 2025.
All right. Is there? Okay.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item 7, consent agenda. No discussions anticipated on any of the items in this section because they are routine business, were included in the budget adoption process, or have been previously discussed as a staff report and discussion item. These items will be considered collectively by a single vote unless a commission member requests an item to be removed from the consent agenda.
Pull B.
Okay. Is there anything else, gentlemen?
Which one should you take out?
B.
B.
Boy.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. So do we have a motion for 7A?
Make a motion to approve 7A.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item 7.
7B, consideration and possible action to approve the installation of speed humps in the following locations. This item was requested by Commissioner Frank Morales and Mayor Pro Tem Ford Kinsley. We have 3,500 block of Lamb Avenue, 200 through 300 East Taft, 300 East Buchanan, 1200-1300 South B Street, between S. Bellagio Circle and S. South Tam Lane. 6 is on Heights South between Red Oak Avenue and Green J Court, and on Paloma Lane between Paloma Circle North and Garcia's Lane.
I'd just like to add here an analysis to be done on East Pierce Avenue between 6th Street and 11th Street. I'll make a motion to approve.
One second.
Hold up. I'd like to add the 700, 800 block of Louisiana.
And then if you can, I already sent this to Oscar earlier. the area around the Palm Valley Gym. if
We're
you-
already working on it.
Okay, so may just add that on.
And you got the one I sent you earlier in the week?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, and that it?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so with those additions that have been provided to staff and added here, you want to,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And at this, do we have staff reports?
No,
After this? Okay.
we don't have any, but we can do
Okay.
that after this one.
All right, okay, so under item, staff reports and other discussion items, I don't believe we have any, city manager doesn't have a report.
No, ma'am, we don't.
And staff, we don't have staff reports.
No, ma'am.
And so I'd like to move up item 11L at this time before we go into the public hearings.
Item 11L reads, consideration and possible action to approve a resolution accepting the Harlingen Waterworks system budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. And
Mayor, Commission, thank you. I'm Ron Delagarza. I'm the Finance Director at Harlingen Waterworks, and this is just a brief summary of our requirements for fiscal year 2026 budget. We are projecting $27,712,334 in total revenues, projecting $29,017,493 in expenses. We have a capital outlay of $48,258,179. It's our capital improvement projects. And we are looking to retire $1,440,000 of debt. Now, I would like to point out on page 5 of the information that was provided, this is a summary of our budget. Item number 1 is some additional positions that we plan on for fiscal year 2026. Item number 2 are some personnel expense changes, individual changes. Now, on item number 3, these are total changes in each one of the classifications there for personnel, non-personnel, and chemicals, some of the major expenses. Item number 4 just details our capital improvement program. That those projects are listed on page 22, so you can see those individually. And our capital asset and equipment purchases of $2,165,400, which are on page 19. And we are proposing an ending fund balance of $10,157,533, which represents about 157 days of working capital. I would like to also make aware the commission that we will be bringing back a couple of items for TMRS. Updated service credit will be coming later, as well as some recommended changes from the results of our compensation study. But those will be coming later. We will have to approve those internally first and then bring them to the commission at a later date. And that's all I have.
Ron, can we talk about the capital improvements on page 22?
Sure.
Can you walk us through those, please? I see that the first thing listed is the Jefferson raw water line replacement.
Yes, the top portion of that page are all the projects that are dedicated to the water issues in blue. And then the projects that are labeled in green there for the wastewater portion of the system. And then on the very bottom, administration and facilities. So yeah, the Jefferson raw water line replacement, that is the raw water intake into the plant. So it's a very important element. It's old and it's deteriorating and it needs to be upgraded.
Raw water meaning water that has yet to be treated to then drink, not
Yes.
sewage.
Yes, we pull water from the irrigation district into the plant to be treated, then push that out to the customers.
And is anything being done in that area to improve sewage water? Because every time we have a big rain on 9th Street, I have, that neighborhood has sewage water coming right out of their manholes, and it's got almost a geyser.
Absolutely. We have a lot of clay pipe in the system, and that causes a lot of trouble over time. Those clay pipes deteriorate, and they basically crumble into themselves, and creating issues. The main project that we did secure Water Development Board funding for a lot of these wastewater projects, but the Little Creek Interceptor. This is a very huge project. That is the main line for wastewater that runs through the center of the city that basically routes all of the wastewater to the wastewater plant. So the two big projects are the Little Creek Interceptor and the Headworks and EQ Basin that are being upgraded. EQ Basin, the end of the line, we need to make it bigger so that it can receive more. Little Creek Interceptor, we're making it bigger so it can move more. And those two projects alone should, of course, over time, we're hoping that that will alleviate a lot of those problems. Once again, once those projects are completed, then we'll have a better understanding of where the other problematic areas are.
On page 22, it references the Little Creek Interceptor replacement, says it's in design. When do we anticipate completing design?
In May of 2026.
And construction?
We'll begin immediately after. We're looking at securing additional Water Development Board funding to pour all our resources into that project to get it done as quickly as possible.
Another issue in my area is there in secluded acres, when we had the big rain, not only did the lift station go down, but it wasn't reported for about 12 hours. Are we doing anything with our lift stations to notify Waterworks that they've been shut off, that they've lost power, so that it allows y'all to run out there to flip the switch back on?
The move to introduce new technology to allow us to get those alarms remotely and quickly are things that we are looking at. We're looking at, I'm not too sure if you've heard about heard the acronym SCADA. SCADA is what's used as alarm systems to notify us when there's problems. Currently, we have a SCADA system built for water, but we are looking to soon build a SCADA system for wastewater, which would encompass the lift stations and other areas. When those alarms go off, we'll be notified immediately, and we can send somebody out there immediately.
When you say soon, what does that mean?
Within the next 3 years. It's a short term.
Okay, thank
Because
you.
we're focused on these big projects right now, in which, we do have, there is another Water Development Board meeting coming up, which we do have additional funding that may be on the slate here within the next 6 months.
And that money will go to SCADA?
No, that is going to these three major projects, the Little Creek, the EQ Headworks, and the Jefferson Raw Water Line. Those are the ones that this is the work that we started 2 years ago. We're currently seeing the fruits of our labor on that.
On that end, do you have a total of how much you've already been granted from the Water Development Board and what you've got pending, just on average? I know that was a question on the commission at the last meeting. Offhand.
Offhand, in total, we've already secured, the initial grant was 10 million. We secured another 1.7 million for the lead service. We are looking at an additional 32 million roughly, of which we will only be responsible for potentially 15 of that. And then we still have another $11 million low-interest bond that may be in the works. That's our final project for Water Development Board from this 2-year-old initiative.
From when they had their meeting here until
Yes.
today? All right, thank you. Is there any other questions for Ron? Do you have a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Revert back.
We're going to come back, we're going to go to public hearing. Item 9. At this time, the mayor will invite members of the public who have filled out the public hearing and the citizen communication form to address each item listed in this section. Please limit your comments to the topic of that public hearing. If more than one public hearing is being held, you will be allowed to speak during each topic, provided you have filled out the public hearing and citizen communication form for the appropriate topic. If you are signed up for 2 or more public hearings, you'll be limited to 5 minutes for all topics. At this time, we don't have any public hearing.
Okay, we'll go through these quickly. Item 9A, public hearing on the adoption of the City of Harlingen's annual budget for fiscal year 2026. Having no one here to speak for or against this item, we will close the public hearing. Item 9B, public hearing on the proposed tax rate for fiscal year 2026. Having no one here to speak for or against this item, we will open and close this item. Item 9C, public hearing for a special use permit for a food truck park and general retail district located at 2906 South Expressway 83, bearing a legal description of Lot 1, E, and L. At this time, we'll open the public hearing on this item. Having no one here to speak for or against, we'll close the public hearing. 9D, public hearing for a rezoning request from not designated district to residential, single-family district for 25.78 acres of land out of Survey 140, L Adams Subdivision located on the east side of Rodeo Drive, approximately 4,696 feet north of West Expressway 83. At this time, we'll open the public hearing. Having no one here to speak for or against this item, we'll close the public hearing. Item 9E, public hearing amending the City of Harlingen Comprehensive Plan, One Vision, One Harlingen, Chapter 2, Figure 2.1, Thoroughfare Plan by removing the proposed extension of New Hampshire Street as a major collector road south of Morris Road to Park Bend. This time we'll open the public hearing. Having no one here to speak for or against the item, we will close the public hearing. 9F, public hearing amending the City of Harlingen Code of Ordinances, Chapter 28, Licenses, Permits, and Miscellaneous Regulations, Article 6, Limousines, Vans, and other commercial passenger vehicles by amending definitions, supplemental operating permit requirement fees, and conditions for supplemental vehicles, and by amending Chapter 18, Fees and Charges to reflect updated fees for limousine services. This time we'll open the public hearing. Having no one here to speak for or against the item, we will close the public hearing and move on to item 10.
Mayor, George Mary is here. He's going to speak on wanted to speak on the ordinance for the limousine.
Okay.
Did you want him to do that during the ordinance presentation, or?
Well, let's do that since there's no one signed up on the public hearing. But we'll go ahead and take the comments on the reading of the ordinance,
Okay.
which is coming up here just shortly.
In just a minute,
1 second.
George.
And so are we doing, moving on to this presentation by Schneider Electric?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Myra?
Item 10 is revised presentation by Schneider Electric on potential energy savings. We have Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Public Works Director Christopher Torres. So this is a revised presentation that Schneider provided for us back in March. Since that date, we have done some improvements ourselves, so this is a revised presentation where they will identify all those issues that the city still has, okay?
Thank you, Chris. Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. Thank you for having us today. My name is Aaron Garcia, and I'm the account representative for Schneider Electric for the South Texas region. I live in McAllen, and with me today is Ryan Wonder. He's our project development engineer. He's out of our Dallas office, but he works all of this Texas area. As Chris mentioned, last time we were here, we spoke about the preliminary analysis or audit that we did for the city, and we're going to do a little recap on that. And purpose of this is to not only do a recap, but hopefully give a little better understanding of what are some of the needs for the city and what the next steps are to try to move to design and implementation. We started working with the city probably about 12 months back, and some of the goals that we had with the Public Works Department and the city administration that we met with was, of course, to try to create a capital asset plan for the city on deferred maintenance that was throughout the city. Also to look at opportunities to save energy and water throughout the city, and also to reduce maintenance and operational costs, and to help modernize the city buildings, parks, buildings, to develop a solution that would demonstrate good stewardship through using utility savings and operational savings to help fund the project, and then also to help bring a better life for the citizens of Harlingen. In the audit, we determined throughout the different deferred maintenance throughout the buildings and that we looked at, that by doing this particular scope of work that we're going to talk about on the next page, it would help significantly reduce the utility cost by 23%. So on an annual basis, the city would be seeing approximately $100,000 in utility cost savings. And the goal here is to utilize those savings because you're going to continue to pay. If you do nothing, you're going to continue to pay that 23%, or you can reduce it and help bring those savings to help pay for the projects that we're going to be talking about shortly. This next page, I'm going to let Ryan present the scope of the work and what the budget costs are for the projects that have been identified.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Good afternoon, good evening. So when we talk about a budget, we kind of see a couple different options here. That option one being about a $3 million project that pays for itself with those utility savings. And substantially, that would be LED lighting and building controls. And then there's, of course, significant needs in the city buildings beyond just those two things, including air conditioning equipment that's at the end of life and roofing that's also well past its service life. These things also bring savings, but their costs outweigh the savings. And so, we see a second option for a significantly larger project if the city chooses to do that. Additionally, there's significant O&M savings, operations and maintenance savings. These are savings from not having to deal with the old lamps and ballast for the old fluorescent systems. So LED lighting brings all those benefits. Same thing with outdated air conditioning equipment with the old refrigerant that's very expensive. And like Aaron talked about, we're talking about a 23% reduction on the utility bills for the city buildings. So that's very significant. We've got a list here in the middle of the slide to kind of show the different buildings that we're targeting. And, the needs on these buildings range, but typically we're seeing LED lighting as a need. Some of the buildings have some LED lights already. I mean, as an example, this room that we're in right now has very nice LED lights. So the work that we're talking about, some of the buildings have no LED lights, so they need a complete upgrade. Some of the buildings are 25% done. So we would come in and finish out that work that the city has already started and finish that out to maximize the savings. Get that done quickly. It also brings a nice rebate check from AEP to the city. But also, most of the buildings have a significant need with old air conditioning equipment, some of it 20-plus years old. BAS on here is Building Automation System. That's the thermostat-type controls for that equipment. Moving on to talking about the process, we've already talked about a conceptual design. We have a rough idea of the needs in these buildings, but we really need to go to that next step to do a detailed analysis and understand exactly, and do a more detailed analysis on the utility billing as well. That happens in these three stages, a 30, 60, 90% review. The goal is a turnkey project, fixed firm price, and one that is substantially paid for by energy savings, depending on the options the city chooses. Again, it'll be completely up to the city to select a project that is on the smaller end that savings entirely pays for, or to include more scope as needed. So this is something that's completely flexible and up to the city. The next phase, we're talking about this IGA, is $57,000. So we're talking about the timeline. Aaron talked about 12 months ago, we had started talking about the potential scope of work, started looking at the utility billing, and we were here a few months ago to present the findings. And so really the next step is to move into that detail phase to firm up the scope of the work and present that to the city as a turnkey project. Some information showing some of Schneider Electric's track record. We've been doing these projects in Texas since 1993, so it's a long history with hundreds of projects all over the state and even all over the country, so we won't harp on that too much. And then we've got several slides that we can talk about some of the details, the air conditioning equipment in the buildings, the lighting equipment in the buildings, some of the roofing needs. Aaron, do you want to go through those slides?
Now, we were going to hold up on these slides and bring them up if you had any specific questions on any of the buildings that were on the list. So at this moment, we'll open it up to any questions.
Yeah, Aaron, give me a call. I'll turn you on to something for insulation.
Okay.
So the slide, 2 slides back, where it has the list of all the buildings, is that option 1 or option 2?
So we want to look at all of the buildings because option 1 would be really LED lighting and building automation controls in all the buildings. And that's something we expect to be self-funding and pay for itself. And then we start talking about air conditioning equipment and roofing needs. These things, in building insulation, we call building envelope. These things also bring savings, but it's not as short of a payback. So these are things that are very much needed. The city could choose to add these to the project. We'll bring those to the city, and the city can make choices on all that.
Yeah, to clarify just a little bit more, so in this next phase of the commitment to move forward into the next stage, we'd be looking at everything that's on this list. But together with the Public Works and your staff, we'll be able to narrow it down and to come up with a project that makes the best sense for the city. We'll look, when we get to a 30%, I think it was on the next page, we talked about a 30, 60, 90%. So when we get the first step after we begin is come back with 30% of the design phase. At that stage, we've looked at everything on that list, but then at 30%, the city, the staff can begin to narrow it down to the immediate needs. So it could be the whole list, it could be half the list, maybe a quarter of the list. So at 60%, when we get to 60%, we can even narrow it down even a little less than what it was. So every step, we're going to just trying to narrow it down to what best meets the city's needs and budget.
And so for us to get that analysis done, that's where we have to pay the
57.
So
it's a commitment, so you don't pay it up front. It's just a commitment on an agreement. What happens is, once we get to the 90%, we come in and present the final project, the turnkey project, and let's say it's a $3 million project. That 57, if y'all decide to move forward into doing the full, going into implementing the projects, then that 57 gets rolled in, it's part of that 3 million. So it doesn't get, you don't pay it unless we come back at 90% and y'all decide, we decided we don't want to do anything. Then that's to recoup our cost of the engineering costs that we've had for the last 3 or 4 months.
And that scope list, that's just an example because there's a number of buildings and facilities that we own that were not on that list. Correct or no?
That's correct. That's correct. Some of them were excluded on purpose. We do want to take a look at everything the city owns that makes sense. You know, we figured that the LED lighting, for instance, is going to be a good payback and a good investment for the city in any building. But some of the buildings were excluded. Perhaps they may have a lot of work going on already, or maybe they're not scheduled to be around. So the list has been curtailed, but no doubt there'll be changes to that list as well as we move through 30, 60, 90.
So we would start off with every building, every facility at the 30%, and then we start cutting it down.
Yes, sir.
So again, even this scope list is incomplete. Just an example. We'll be starting with the full list, though.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So since it's not a comprehensive list, is there a reason you chose these? Is it, Chris, do you have something you want to add?
Yes, so the list that's on that slide, it's a list that we came up with where all these buildings have those needs that need to be addressed. As Commissioner Lopez mentioned, there are other buildings that public buildings under Public Works takes care of, and we have those on our budget list that we have been taking care of and that we will be taking care of. But these are the hot items that need to be addressed if you choose to go through this program.
Yeah, because like, for example, the theater is catty corner to HPD is not on this list. Harlingen Field's not on this list. The recycling center isn't on this list, right?
EOC,
What's up?
emergency.
Correct. Yeah, the DID, things like that. And so I want to make sure that these older buildings especially, that we're definitely taking a look at them. Because I know that one of the photos has like the Casa de Sol list, roof, but it's not on this list, right? So
Right, we took it off. Initially, back in March, that Casa del Sol was on this list, but since we're doing something now, we took it off the list, and we accommodated those other buildings that we know that they need to be addressed.
Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
You know, we really need it, right? I know that every budget year, it's hard on our city manager to be able to accommodate every single need for every a building that needs it. And so we try our best to tackle some of those issues, but we kind of play reactive rather than proactive because we don't have the budget. And so I think that this is something that the city needs for sure. And so I think this is the best way to go.
Robert, I know you're here. Do these numbers make sense to you?
I mean, just looking at them through a quick overview, I mean, I'd have to take a deeper dive into the numbers.
I have a question that might actually help answer that. Of the 3.5 million that you're projecting to spend, the 23% in savings, will it be sufficient to cover that debt?
Correct.
Yeah, because those are the savings.
That's option one, right?
Yeah. Self-funded by savings.
But you're going to put that in your agreement, that the savings generated by your review will be sufficient to cover the debt, and that the city will not be responsible for any of that 3.5 million. Correct?
Part of the agreement in the design is to find a self-funding job. In other words, we're looking for a project that pays for itself. Now, the city elects to do work beyond that, that's fine as well, but it's up to Schneider Electric to go find a project, at least a minimum project that pays for itself. Does that answer
But
your question?
on the next phase, when we get to the construction, those details that you're mentioning, Mr. Gonzalez, would be in there.
Okay, but these projects came from you guys. We didn't tell you that this is what we want, right?
It was together with the staff.
Okay, so did you come up with a list yourself saying that these are the projects that we can fund that will be paid for by the savings generated through the savings?
Yeah, we feel pretty confident that for just lighting only and building automation, just those two scopes of work, maybe not every single building in the city, but in this next phase, we need to come up with what exactly it's going to cover, how many buildings, and the goal is to, if that's the ask of the city, that you want to make sure it's a fully self-funded project, then we'll focus on that only. But you have other needs outside of that that need to get done as well, that won't get funded through a self-funded project.
So when you say automation, we're not talking about replacement of AC units. We're just talking about the LED lights and then the essentially Nest, right? Like that Nest type of thermostat. That's it?
The building automation.
Does the lighting also cover the sports lighting, or is it just buildings?
Yes, sir, sports lighting as well.
For those four parks.
Right.
Sports Soccer Complex, Wilson, Monsey Hill, Victor Park, and then those limited areas.
And then you got to remember that the price of electricity is going up every year. Crypto mining is sucking up a massive amount of U.S. electricity. We don't have enough power plants to meet that demand for crypto mining, so the cost goes up.
I'm comfortable moving forward with the analysis based on the recommendation of Chris, but just know that if it goes sideways, it's coming out of your budget.
I think this is just a presentation.
So we need a
We don't
give
have an
direction.
action item, but with a guidance, I do think it's important. I think we have to go this direction. It's not, I don't think it's optional, but like Gabe, I am a little concerned in terms of the funding mechanism. Anything that is going to be funded on its own and, you know, based on the savings, obviously we want to take advantage of that. But we have to have a real idea of a comprehensive look at all the buildings and everything that we have within the city, because if we're not doing it now, then we're going to do it in the future. And I think if everything that we've learned so far is that the longer we wait, the more things cost. So if we can get together with Chris, and I appreciate, you know, Chris doing this list and kind of prioritizing, but I'd like to see how that priority came to be, right? And making sure that these are truly the ones that are most pressing, because we've got quite a bit older buildings. I'm glad that, you know, fire and police are here, and the parks and things like that, but there are quite a few. And if we're going to be doing all those improvements to the Casa de Sol, you know, that might be something that we want to look at as well. But I think, you know, thank you for providing us this information, great insight. Are there any other questions?
So the initial cost would be 57,000 if we decide, you start doing some work and we decide against it? Is that what I understand, or is it?
That's correct. So when we get to 90%, we'll be back here to present the 90%, that'll be the total cost of, and narrowed down what the immediate needs are, what the total cost is, what the guaranteed savings, how much would self-fund itself. And then at that point, if y'all decide you don't want to move forward, then we have to.
just owe you
You just owe us
57.
the 57. That's correct.
If we don't want to move forward at all, is what you're saying.
Right, if you don't move forward with the construction phase.
I feel comfortable, Gabe and Mark, us proceeding forward, working on a contract for later presentment to the commission.
This is just a presentation,
Yeah,
correct?
we'd have to put an action item.
Right,
Yeah,
but
that's
so that it
yeah.
comes back on the
Correct,
agenda
that's what
and
I'm
it doesn't get lost.
Correct, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We can do that in either late September or early October.
Sooner the better.
And there's no, just to recap, there's no upfront cost. This is what we would be paying down the road.
That's correct.
And that, Commissioner, was for all these side projects listed on the screen?
Well, the mayor and I are in agreement that we need to do an analysis of all the buildings, all
All
the
right.
facilities. For example, I went to City Lake, and those light poles along the trail are in pretty rough condition, right? So.
They suck.
And it goes to your point, I wasn't there at night, like, it was there
No,
before they turned on.
I've gone, and they're always burning out, and they're not on, so I agree with you 100%. We need to look at those lights.
The ballast and all that, like the housing, everything, just let's look at it. And again, if we decide later that we're not going to do it, well, we make the decision, but at least we have the full analysis.
And I think there, Commissioner, we're talking about doing some solar-powered lights, right, Chris? So that might not be a project that we want to put on here, because it'll be just the initial investment of the equipment, and then it'll power itself through solar projects, so.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move on to item 11, action items. City Commission will discuss, consider, and take any action needed, necessary on items listed on this section, including adoption of a resolution or an ordinance. Item 11A, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading adopting the City of Harlingen's budget for fiscal year 2026 by record vote. Finance?
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. We have before you the budget for the fiscal year 2026. We are proposing revenues of $119,595,578. We have proposed expenditures of $117,534,130. That is a culmination of 5 months' worth of work and 5 budget workshops. So we're here to present the budget for approval. And this does have to be a record
A
vote.
record vote, okay. So we have before you, and thank you, Robert, for, all the work that you and your department has put into preparing this. I know 5 workshops is a lot, but necessary. Thank you to city management. Also, I know that we've got a lot that we are doing with this budget, so I'm excited about, we're aggressive on drainage, and I can't thank you enough for finding the money for us, for that equipment, for the crew, for the superintendent. I know we've got the collective bargaining agreement coming up for PD, and I know that they want to ensure that they're continuing to be paid not just a livable wage, but a wage that is representative of all the wonderful work that they do in keeping our community safe. I know we've got some items in trying to help our airport also to be, self-sustaining, but also taking care of them when they need to be taken care of. And so this represents a lot of hard work, and I just want to thank you for everything that you do, and also to this commission for making sure that we're being responsible with our taxpayer money, that we are, tasked with ensuring that we're stretching every dollar, and I'm confident that that's what we're doing with this budget.
Yes.
I know before each we do have, this is a record vote, so we need these read the way that they're written. So I don't know if there's any other comments?
And, yeah, and once again, when we pass this, we're lowering the tax rate, property tax rate for the citizens by a little bit. This
That is
is
correct.
26 years in a row lowering property taxes.
Yes, Commissioner, that is correct.
And that we're gathering more tax dollars because of sales tax and because of more properties being annexed into Harlingen.
Correct.
And new construction, new homes being
Yeah.
built, new businesses coming into town.
And so with that new construction that's coming in, and over just $1 million in the last year in new construction.
In new homes.
In new homes, means additional services.
Exactly.
More garbage pickup, more streets to be paved, and things of that nature. So yes, as we're growing with an additional 700 acres plus into the community voluntarily annexed, comes with that the responsibility to care for these additional homes. And so I think that we're in a good place.
And Mayor, I think that we're going to break the $250 million in new building permits this fiscal year.
Which is fantastic because, over the last 3 years, we have seen an increase in, as Mike mentioned, of the sales tax. So as the sales tax continues to rise, then our property tax continues to drive down, which is obviously what it is that we want. So small businesses, shopping local, all of that helps and to ensure that we're stimulating our economy. But to know that the record was in 2012, 116 million. That was the record that was held for over a decade after that. And this year.
A record of what?
Of
Building
construction.
permits.
In construction permits, the value of that build. And so this year, we're at July, I think, and so we've got still a few months for the fiscal year, and we are already approaching $250 million of construction value, which is phenomenal. So that's because of the incredible team. Of course, every department Anna's department, finance department, city secretary's office, everybody plays a role in that. And so Harlingen is definitely on the rise, and we're doing our best to keep up and do so responsibly. So thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other comments? If not, can I get a motion?
Mayor, can I do the reading before we
Yes.
proceed to the
Thank
record
you.
vote?
Thank you, Mike.
An ordinance adopting the revenue and expenditure budget for the City of Harlingen, Texas for the fiscal year October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026, providing for publication of the caption of this ordinance and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, well,
Wait, you have to.
we need
Yeah,
them
read it.
specifically read the way that they are before you.
Is that
so-
even for the
So
budget
this-
one?
The script will be for
Oh, okay, I'm
11B
sorry.
for the tax,
Yes, you're
but this
right.
one is still a record
A
vote.
record vote. So we have a motion and a second, and then sorry about that. We'll
Aye.
start. Aye.
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 Unanimous? Moving forward.
Item 11B, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading adopting the tax year 2025 ad valorem tax rate for maintenance and operations, together with the interest and sinking rate for fiscal year 2026 by record vote.
An ordinance of the City of Harlingen, Texas, levying ad valorem taxes for use in support of the municipal government of the city for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and terminating September 30th, 2026, providing for apportioning each levy for specific purposes, providing when taxes shall become due and when same shall become delinquent if not paid, providing for publication and an effective date, and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
Okay. So can I get a motion?
I move that the maintenance and operations tax rate be fixed at 0.458038 per $100.
Second.
All right, we'll start with Commissioner Kinsley.
Aye.
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 Nay.
Aye.
Okay, let the record reflect that everyone, minus Commissioner Morales, has voted to reduce the tax rate. Second motion?
I move that the interest and sinking tax rate be fixed at 0.068022 per 100.
Second.
Aye.
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 Let the record reflect that it was unanimous.
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.526060 per $100, which is effectively a 3.33% increase in the tax rate.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Aye.
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 Nay.
Aye.
Let the record reflect that all commissioners except for Commissioner Morales has voted to lower the tax rate.
Now we're going to move on to item 11B.
Can I just make a quick announcement? It's just that the second and final reading will be here on September 3rd at Town Hall for the second and final reading.
And that
Thank
also
you.
has to be a record vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all of your hard work.
11C?
Yes, 11C. Consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading for a special use permit for a food truck park in the general retail district located at 2906 South Expressway 83, bearing a legal description of Lot 1, E and L Subdivision. Applicant James Kendrick.
An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, ordinance number 16-8 of the City of Harlingen, to issue a special use permit to James Kendrick Junkins to allow a food truck park in general retail district located at 2906 South Expressway 83, bearing a legal description of Lot 1, E and L subdivision.
Can we go back on the slides? Is this an old funeral home?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's been brought back to life.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm 3 boys, dude. All I do is think of dad jokes all day. Okay, I'm sorry.
Second dad joke for the day.
I'm on fire.
Yes, you are.
Make a motion to approve.
Poor Becca.
I'll set them up, you knock them down.
Thank you.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay. Item 11D, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading for a rezoning request from not designated district to residential single-family district for 25.78 acres of land out of Survey 140 LL Adams Subdivision located on the east side of Rodeo Drive, approximately 4,696 feet north of West Expressway 83.
An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Harlingen, rezoning from not designated district to residential single-family R1 district for 25.78 acres of land out of Survey 140 LL Adams Subdivision located on the east side of Rodeo Drive, approximately 4,696 feet north of West Expressway 83.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Okay, item 11E, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading, amending the City of Harlingen Comprehensive Plan, One Vision, One Harlingen, Chapter 2, Figure 2.1, Thoroughfare Plan by removing the proposed extension of New Hampshire Street as a major collector road south of Morris Road to Park Bend.
An ordinance of the City of Harlingen, Comprehensive Plan, One Vision 1, Harlingen, Chapter 2, Figure 2.1, Thoroughfare Plan, by removing the proposed extension of New Hampshire Street as a major collector road south of Morris Road to Park Bend, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, item 11F, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance amending the City of Harlingen Code of Ordinances, Chapter 28, Licenses, Permits, and Miscellaneous Regulations, Article 6, Limousines, Vans, and other commercial passenger vehicles by amending definitions of supplemental operating permit requirements, fees and conditions for supplemental vehicles, and by amending Chapter 18, fees and charges to reflect updated fees for limousine services.
An ordinance of the City of Harlingen amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 28, Licenses, Permits, and Miscellaneous Regulations, Article 6, Limousines, Vans, and other commercial passenger vehicles to revise definitions, supplemental operating permit requirements, fees and conditions from supplemental vehicles, further amending Chapter 18, fees and charges to update the fee schedule for limousine services, providing for a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
If, I don't know if anyone needs the presentation from Anna? No? Okay, if we want to give you an I'm assuming the commission is inclined to approve, but if you'd like to speak, you're welcome to. Thank you for your patience.
Greetings to all. My name is George Mary. I'm the president of our company, Elegant Worldwide Transportation, and early in the year, our company received a call from the Convention Visitors Bureau here. They were asked by a potential convention group to provide them with a few names of certified black services. Without hesitation, they responded very professionally that we're not sure what that is, but we will seek out, and after some extensive homework, we received a call from your CVB asking us if we could respond to the group. We did, and immediately went to work on a manifest, which was rather impressive. Within a short time, we were reacquainted with Javier Segura, a longtime friend from San Antonio, whom we worked with for many, many years. He encouraged us to pursue our interest here. And upon investigating our options here in Harlingen, we hit a roadblock. Diving into the ordinance, we began to realize that we couldn't function legally and safely without several major changes to the ordinance. So within days, we were visiting with the mayor and the city manager, stating our case. We felt very welcome here, so much so I bought a condo here. We put a team together and began to address the existing ordinance. We never gave the potential convention any clue that we were challenged. We dissected and proposed changes that would have to be implemented in order for us to, or for anyone for that matter, to provide quality service and again, operate legally and safely at the same time. Regretfully, after 60 days of research and communication around June of this year, we received a call that the group had changed their plans and moved their convention. And after extensive discussions with them, we were convinced that it had nothing to do with anything other than their change in their budget. And they found a ranch somewhere in Edinburgh and can handle 1,000 people. Needless to say, we were so impressed with the cooperation of so many people here in town, including the airport staff, I might add, that we decided to continue our research with the hopes of expanding our services into your town. So we are here today, 4 months later, excited about the potential market we see here. We are fairly familiar with the area. We are the hired company that drives Elon Musk when he visits SpaceX, our branch in Corpus Christi, receives that call, and they drive down here to provide the service. We're also in the motor coach business, and we do get calls here on a regular basis for a lot of the schools and whatever to provide service in that capacity as well. In conclusion, the recommended changes before the council today are indeed the very minimum needed to provide a legal and safe entry into your city. And possibly later, some additional regulations we feel may be needed some other day. But for now, we ask that you allow those changes proposed in front of you to be strongly considered and supported by the council. And if you have any questions, I'm here.
What changes, additional changes would you like us to make? Why not just do it all at one fell swoop?
Well, sure, we made 4 or 5 that were recommended. Of course, the pricing was a little bit out of line, it had a maximum pricing of $40 an hour of service. That was a little bit, we asked and recommended that that be changed to the minimum pricing. In every city, there's pricing protection for the taxi cab industries and stuff. In our industry, in black car service, for example, I'll use, if you don't mind, the city of San Antonio as an example. They have in their ordinance, the minimum pricing for our industry is in there in the ordinance at $67.50 an hour. It protects the taxi cab industry, and rightfully so, and we can hardly operate for less than that. But that was one of the big changes, was removing the pricing. That was a big block here. We couldn't operate that way without it. The second thing was how to support backup service in the event of a group or something, spontaneous issue or extra plane comes in or stuck here or something. How do you take your fleet from 6 cars or 10 cars to 20 cars in a day's notice? And we asked that we be given, as long as the vehicle, with the condition that the vehicle is a pre-approved vehicle somewhere in the state, currently licensed somewhere, that we'd be able to move from our other facilities. We operate San Antonio, we operate Corpus Christi, we operate Austin, Texas. We surround the area. This is our intent to be here, but just in the event that there's a need for it, we've established and recommended a procedure that protects the city, and allows someone like us or anybody like us to come in and provide a backup service and not say we can't do it, and just give us an option of a legal way to bring in vehicles permitted through the city and with whatever the rules apply at the time. That was another big thing.
If I may interject, I think is there any, I think the question was, is there any additional changes that were not recommended that you would like for the commission to consider? So we've got what we have before us. Is there anything else in addition to that you would like for us to consider?
I can honestly say, and I'm in all confidence, that what has been recommended and what I understand has been recommended is all we need to function and operate, anybody our size.
Great.
The only other recommendation down the road, and I only mentioned this, but I know it was, we think that in some instances, all the cities, in the case of San Antonio, where they have $1 million minimum coverage, or excuse me, $500,000 coverage, we only recommended that here. In the event that we could use services here, we would have to rely on somebody with at least that amount of service. Our industry, which you'll quickly find out, is a national industry, and the nation seeks competent and qualified companies, and one of the conditions is insurance. And I only recommend it because it wasn't stated anywhere in the ordinance, a value of some protection so that the client automatically can assume there's something there. We recommended $500,000. We carry $1 million because of it's the highest limit. We actually carry a $5 million policy in a lot of instances, but our clientele is going to be VIP and stuff like that, as it occasionally will happen. But that's the only other thing. But what you've recommended here, and we very much appreciate that, is all we need to be in business. And we can always come back at another time if there's something else.
Motion to approve?
Maybe a motion to approve subject to legal, right?
Go for it.
We've already reviewed this. We've looked at some of the proposed changes, and we feel comfortable with this one.
Okay.
Right, we got a motion from Daniel,
Second.
a motion from Pettis.
Correct. There's a motion from Bettis,
Okay,
second from.
second from Kinsley. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Success to you.
Thank you so
Thank you all
much.
very much.
Welcome to Harlingen.
Okay, item 11G, consideration and possible action to adopt an ordinance on second and final reading for a rezoning request from not designated district to planned development district for a single-family residential use with smaller lot sizes and 32 feet wide paved streets within 50 feet of right-of-way for a 77.89 acre tract of land being part of Block 15 and all Block 16 Harlingen Land and Water Company Subdivision C, located on the south side of Kroger Avenue between McCullough Street and Chester Park Road.
An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Harlingen, rezoning from not designated in-district to planned development PD district to allow a 30-foot wide paved streets with 50-foot right-of-way and smaller lot sizes bearing a legal description of 77.89 acre tract of land being part of Block 15 and all of Block 16, Harlingen Land and Water Company subdivision located at the northeast corner of Rodeo Drive and Atlas Palmas Road, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
That was a 32-foot wide street, just to clarify.
Make a motion to approve.
But staff recommends a 37, so with staff recommendations, right?
37.
Yeah.
So,
The
okay.
ordinance has 32.
And that's why I think they've added this language here on the recommendation.
Okay, you want us to change it to 37? Okay.
Motion approved with 37-foot amendment.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, item 11H, consideration and possible action to approve the preliminary construction plans and final plat with conditions of the proposed Sun Country Estates Phase 3 subdivision, bearing a legal description, Tract 1, 3.626 acres, comprised of lots 4A, 4B, and 4C out of Block 4, Sun Country Subdivision Phase 1, Tract 2, 3.626 acres, comprised of lots 5A, 5B, and 5C, Block 5, Subdivision, Sun Country Subdivision Phase 1, and Tract 3, and 5.108 acres, comprised of lots 6A and 6B out of Block 6, Sun Country Subdivision Phase 1, located north of Marco Avenue, approximately 811.63 feet west of Chester Park Road. Planning?
Mark?
No, this is not.
This is
Oh,
not an
I'm sorry.
ordinance.
Okay, is there, do we need this presentation? No. Okay, can I get a
Motion to
motion?
approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, item 11I, consideration and possible action to name the Bonito Duval Park Project in District 2 as Gayle Butterfly Garden Park.
So, Danny's been doing a phenomenal job of helping us with this park, this pocket park. It's the first one in Harlingen that we're getting up and running. We're getting close to the tail end, right? We've ordered the last pieces, and they put in a bridge. If you haven't had a chance, just take a peek out there. It's gorgeous already. This is just a commission question for you guys. So we've been talking about pocket parks. That's the industry term for pocket parks. But the design behind this was to make it a butterfly garden. That's what the types of plants we're going to be putting in there. I know that for city, we have different levels of parks. So we have regional parks, which is like Victor Park, I think Wilson Park, even the soccer complex. And we have neighborhood parks, which is Vestal Park, Dixieland, things like that. So the residents asked for it to be called the Gayle Neighborhood Park. We thought Gayle Butterfly Garden Park. Do we want to use the term neighborhood for pocket parks moving forward so that we kind of designate it that way? Or do we want to just leave it park and do something like this?
Okay, so butterfly,
Butterfly.
we're going to be planting plants that attract and retain butterflies.
Native plants, yes.
Okay.
I would think I like the idea of neighborhood park. However, I think that there may be this perception from the community that that's not a park that I can go into because it's a neighborhood park. That's the only drawback I think that there is. And I know that since we have tried these in other areas of the community, in terms of ownership of a park, so I like it, but I don't know if that would send the wrong message to the community. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's a great
I like the
addition.
personalization.
Yeah, so do I.
Park with the name.
Yeah.
And give them the opportunity like here.
Yeah, I love the idea. I think that is perfect, Gayle Butterfly Garden Park.
So you like the way we have it here?
Correct.
On the screen?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, that works.
Just what's the location?
It's on North Bonito Road and Duval. It's a T intersection. So as soon as you hit that T, you're gonna be looking right at it. Look for the bridge.
The bridge to nowhere.
Well, the bridge to the
To the
beautiful.
park. So it's almost done?
We're getting close to being done.
So I'm assuming you're gonna have like a ribbon cutting and all that stuff for it, right?
Yes, once we get all the equipment. Remember, if you guys recall, and I'm super excited about this aspect, is we approved those chess tables. And so I'm really excited for when those come in. So it's all, if we go back to the previous photo, it's all covered canopy. So even going under there, it feels like 10 degrees cooler, the wind's hitting you. So I imagine, even in the summertime, I was going in July, brutal days, and it was nice and cool. So imagine going there in the evening, playing chess with your grandchild or your son or daughter or whatever. That'd be fun.
No dad jokes, right?
No dad jokes on this one.
All right.
There's a picture of the bridge right there in the
Yeah.
lower left-hand corner.
So, thank you, staff. And I think we got the name, so we're going to make a motion to approve.
Second.
To call it the Gayle Butterfly Garden Park.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Great job, staff. Thank you.
Item 11J is consideration and possible action to approve a list of priority in-house drainage improvement projects for fiscal year 2026 and 2027 in coordination with Cameron County Drainage Districts and Irrigation Districts, and authorize the city manager to proceed with implementation. Engineering?
Hello, Roberto Hernandez, city engineer. So the list that you have in front of you, it includes, let me read it. It includes the Lipscomb Ditch outfall improvements, Westway outfall drainage improvements, Spanish Secluded Acres drainage improvements, 13th Street ditch drainage improvements, North Bass Hill crossings improvements, Treasure Hills drainage improvements, and the Harlingen Police Detention Pond improvements. So we've been meeting with the different drainage districts to be able to get the permission to go and do the maintenance. I've been meeting with Chris, also Oscar, just to come up with a game plan. So right now we have it as A, B, and C in terms of priority. And the first two projects, the Lipscomb and the Westway, we've already been coming up with a game plan since they're relatively quick turnaround times, especially for the improvements. In terms of the major improvements or the big projects, those would be the Spanish and Secluded Acres drain improvements. That's about 2,500 linear feet of ditch widening. And then also the 13th Street, that's about 1.5 mile of ditch widening improvements that may include, there's right away 150 feet, widening that to its full capacity and dropping the bench for additional capacity during storm events. For those two, we still haven't finalized the game plan, but once that's been completed, the additional drainage crew comes in, we would like to tackle them in that order.
What do you think the time frame for those would be?
Oh, those would be in the months, because we still need to finalize how much volume we're going to be excavating. We for sure know that we're going to be dropping the bench approximately 5 to 6 feet, just because of the site visits we've done. But we're talking about 1.5 miles, so we would like to get local partners, for example, developers that are trying to get dirt to come in. That way they could help us with the hauling. For the most part, the city would be participating in the labor of widening the ditch with the excavators and moving the dirt, but we're still working with drainage districts in that regards.
Okay. So this is the order that they'll be going in?
Yes. And for, like I said, for the Lipscomb and the Westway, those are, one crew would be jumping from one to the other one. But for the major one, let's say Spanish and Secluded Acres, we'll have one permanent crew there. And we'll move stuff around.
And we have the money to do this.
This is being provided with city labor only. So the winding and so on. We're not participating monetary.
Okay, so where's the money coming from other than the city labor?
We're not doing any drainage improvements. We're not participating in any other way other than labor force.
We don't actually have the second crew yet until 1 October. Then we'll actually purchase the equipment and hire the staff. Then we'll have the second crew to actually start working on that. So we're going to be just providing the labor and the equipment. We're not going to hire anybody, so all the costs we have will be in-house.
Okay.
And just to clarify, the The work that's going to be provided by the city will be for improvements only. We aren't going to be doing any maintenance.
Correct.
No maintenance.
And the one for E, because that's one in my district, that's the one that's where it's going to be similar to what we did on Hick Hill, and then we're just going to do it down the line, so that way it won't be bottled up, right?
Correct. So those, the drainage district already completed the design for what pipes should be installed. So that labor component will be coordinating with the irrigation district, the drainage district, to make sure that, I know already Mr. McLemore, the general manager, agreed for them to do the irrigation relocation since there's some crossings. So we don't have to pay for any of that. It would just be excavating, installing the new pipe infrastructure.
And
then moving on.
DD6 is paying for the culverts and all that, or that?
To my understanding, yes. We're still working the final game plan for that component, but yes,
We're not going to be buying any
correct.
equipment or anything that we install has to be provided by the drainage districts or the irrigation district. We will provide the labor and the equipment to install it, but we just won't be buying the pipe. We didn't budget for any of that
Correct.
in the drainage.
It was fantastic, staff. Thank you guys so much. I know you guys have had a number of meetings to iron these out and stay in patience. So thank you. I'd already.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 11K, consideration and possible action to award a contract to Scheibe Consulting in the amount of $332,355.25 for professional engineering services for the design and environmental permitting for the Arroyo Colorado Hike and Bike Trail Extension Project 3, Phase 3, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement.
And where does it go from to where?
This would be from McKelvey Park to Hugh Ramsey Park, the 1.1 mile mark. And this is only for planning.
But this is where you want to seize 22 people's properties to commit this.
No, sir. So part of this would be to.
Do you have a map of this?
Yes.
May I?
It's part of the attachment. We have the master plan attachment that's included. But here, one of the key items being proposed from the professional services is the state boundary work. So bringing.
Can I see a map of this?
We don't have it on the presentation. But
You sent it in the agenda packet, right?
yes, it's included as part of the agenda item. My apologies. It's attachment A.
And
the
this
master
will be
plan.
the dotted blue?
Potentially, yes, sir.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at the right-of-way on both sides. This is going to be done.
I know
by-
you're planning for the destruction of people's property, and I am so damn against this, you cannot believe. 22 people's property will be seized by the city to do this, and so I don't want to spend a damn dime on this, planning the destruction of people's property. Save the money, give it to all these other commissioners for their parks, but do not do this.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
In a second?
I'll second it. If you look at the bottom, Mike, just to your point, if you look at the bottom of page 2, that last paragraph, it says that they're going to be identifying whether there is going to be any land that they're going to take or look into. or-
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, I understand your position. So I'll second this.
And we've got the grant, the funding for it, so we don't want to give it back, but it's on the planning and the study, and we're on that phase. There's no action in regards to those concerns at this point. So we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Motion
What'd you say?
Opposed.
so motion
Four?
carries. We've got, I'm sorry.
Ford? I didn't hear you.
I voted aye, because I don't want to lose the money.
Right.
Doesn't say we're going to dig up anybody's yard yet.
Yeah, and I recognize your concerns are valid, and you've been very consistent, and I can appreciate that, and I think that the residents in that neighborhood are appreciative of your advocacy too. At this point, we're not anywhere near that, but we're giving direction and the authorization to move forward with the grant funding that we have that had been previously approved by the commission. So the record reflects that there was it passed with Commissioner Morales and Commissioner Mesmer opposing. Okay, moving forward.
Okay. Item 12, board appointments. Specifically appointed or discussion and possible action to include appointment and/or removal of any position subject to appointment or removal by statute, ordinance, or bylaws.
All right.
None.
I'm just reappointing Ms. Elaine Flores to the Community Development Advisory Board.
She's awesome.
And I will remove Eric Zehe from the EDC as his time is done, and I will appoint Javier Segura.
None.
Speaking of Javier, I was going to reappoint him to the Veterans Advisory Board. And also well, I'll keep it there, just there.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously on board appointments. Moving forward.
Okay, item 13, executive session. All items listed in this section will be deliberated in a closed session. Members of the public are not generally permitted to attend a closed session. Executive session items may be considered as an action item at the discretion of the mayor. However, the city commission will not take any action in closed session. Item 13A, discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074 to deliberate on the employment of the city manager.
Make motion to go into executive session?
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Time is now 7:19 PM, and we will retire to executive session and be out shortly. Thank you. All right. The time is now 7:50 PM, and we are back in open session. Ms. Myra?
Okay, item 14, action on executive session items. The city commission will reconvene an open session and may take action on any item listed in the executive session section of this agenda. Consideration and possible action on item 13A as discussed in executive session.
Make motion to proceed as discussed?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And that is all we have. Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.